Another common myth is that if you find something of value out on the street, that you can just keep it. Now, in almost every jurisdiction, but certainly in England and Wales, this is not necessarily true. The key to this is whether it's possible taking reasonable steps to find out who the owner of that thing is. For example, if you're walking down the street and you find a £5 note, you didn't see who dropped it, you didn't see where it came from, it's almost going to be impossible to find out who owns that £5 note, in which case you're usually very safe to keep it. On the other hand, if you're walking down the road and you find, let's say, a camera or a rare piece of jewellery, either of which is likely to have a serial number, which is almost certainly going to be lodged with an insurance company, you should be taking this item to the police, because there's a reasonable prospect that if the police have it in their lost property, that whoever it is that's lost it will be searching for it and may be in contact with the police and determine that it's been handed in as lost property. To illustrate that a little bit further, if you were walking down the street behind somebody and they dropped something, say their wallet, inside which was their driving license or some other identifying card, any reasonable person wouldn't think that you could just keep that wallet and its contents, because it was quite possible with reasonable steps not just to know who the owner was, but to return it to the owner. So in that case, it would be dishonest if you kept the wallet when you were in a position to return it to the owner and know who the owner was. Many people will just simply keep the item, but you run the risk there that if there is a serial number and it is readily traceable back to the owner, there is a risk that that becomes theft because you've taken something and you are intending to keep it. The same thing can be true of something that's sent to you in the post by mistake that has a return label on it, because if it comes to you, but there are documents within that package that tells you where it came from, who it was going to, and therefore who the rightful owner is. Or at the very least, with reasonable steps, if you were to contact the company that sent the package out, for example, if there's a reference number or invoice number on the contents, even if the recipient's details are not on there. In that scenario, again, with reasonable steps, you can find out who the item belongs to and you ought to be returning it. And keeping it would be a dishonest act and could result in accusations of theft against you.